Nights at Freddy's 2 is coming. Listen, when they first announced that they were doing a Five Nights at Freddy's movie for a good year and a half, that it was in production and waiting for it to come out, I was beside myself excited about it. I thought it was such a great idea. It's legit, Rob, the only video game that is horror video game that's ever given me the creeps. No other video game ever has. I'm just built that way, I guess. It's just whatever.
Did you ever play Alien Isolation?
I have not played Alien.
That gets in your head.
Scary.
And you have it bases it on like your movement and the sound you make.
Yeah.
But yeah, like none of the Resident Evil stuff, none of the others never gives me, I mean, good games, but never made me feel scared or anything like that. But Five Nights at Freddy's, that one legitimately kind of freaked me out when I was playing it. It kind of gave me the goosebumps and chills as I was playing it, right? It's really weird. So I was excited about the movie. Now, I went to go see the movie and I did not love it. I didn't think it was the worst thing I'd ever seen. For me personally, I didn't think it was all that good, but a lot of people did like it. And it went over well with a lot of the fan base. And it made some really good money for what it was. I mean, it really did. So obviously they're doing a part 2. Here it comes. And by the way, most of the other critics kind of liked Five Nights at Freddy's 2. Well, the reviews for Five Nights at Freddy's 2 are now coming out. And the critics that liked it before apparently don't like it now. Now, when I go over to the Rotten Tomatoes page, they're not giving a number yet. So I had to do my own maths. I wasn't told there would be any math on this test.
No, their math wasn't mathin', so you stepped in?
I did some maths.
I'm going to guess 12%.
The last one I did, I think there might have been a couple more reviews added since I did it, but when I counted it up last time, it was 8 to 9%.
Wow. I thought I was low.
8 to 9%. Might be a little bit higher right now, might be a little bit lower, but it's not good. So let's go over and see what some of the critics are saying about Five Nights at Freddy's 2. We'll start with our friend Jeremy Johns, who says who did not like it, said there are plot holes that make this thing not make sense. It's pretty straight to the point. Culture Mix wrote, who did not like it, the lackluster and sloppy made horror flick Five Nights at Freddy's 2 only manages to confirm 2 truths in movies. 1, most sequels are inferior to the original. 2, most video game adaptations are terrible. Yeah, trying to change both of those, but apparently this one didn't do it. Mortal Cinema didn't like it and wrote, I like these movies better than most critics, yet I don't love them as much as I'd like. Daily Dead did not like it, gave it a 1.5, said, game creator Scott Cawthorn delivers one of the sloppier screenplays of the year, relying on video game logic to propel the film's narrative and displaying an utter lack of faith in the intelligence of his young viewers. Comicbook.com gave it a 1.5 out of 5, did not like it, saying simply giving the audience what they're expecting and winking at the cameo is easy. Subverting expectations and trying to push the material into new places would have been challenging, but is avoided at all costs. Diego Battle wrote, did not like it, said, while the dark humor only works in dribs and drabs, and while the acting is far from virtuoso, Five Nights at Freddy's 2 at least has the merit of opting for a more analog and handcrafted horror than digital. The Rap did not like it, saying the script is the quintessence, is that how you're saying? Of lead. Quintessence, thank you. I was going to say the quintessential, but that's not what it said. Of lead. It lumbers from functional scene to functional scene at a Gollum's pace with a dismal of logic that borders on the contemptuous or the insane. Randy Meeks didn't like it, said the plot of Five Nights at Freddy's 2 is a complete mess that unless you're highly motivated is confusing even when it tries to be simple. The New York Times did not like it. The story, overworked and drained of tension, is a watered-down cocktail of damaged childhoods and parental neglect, and whatever attempts at humor are mustered, save for the scenes involving the impish Ulrich, land awkwardly. Adrian Massent didn't like it, saying, while it delivers on the basics, it ultimately betrays what made the first film appealing. The mystery lurking in the shadows, the darkness of what is hinted at, rather than the empty and predictable scares put front and center. Richard Krause didn't like it. Hollywood and Toto didn't like it. Then Fandom Wire gave it a 9 out of 10. 9 out of 10. They loved it. Said with better scares and more surprises, Scott Cawthon stays true to Five Nights at Freddy's loyalists while improving remarkably all around, creating one of the strongest PG horror flicks recently. Well, I'm glad he liked it. Screen Rant didn't like it. Den of Geek did.
All right.
Barely.
2.5 out of 5.
Yep.
I don't know if that counts.
Well, they gave it a tomato, so
They just over the.
they just barely liked it. Bloody Disgusting didn't like it. NME didn't like it. The Associated Press didn't like it. Variety didn't like it. Game Radar didn't like it, and goes on and on and on. It might be lower than 9% at this point. All right. Now, I think the majority of the critics, I could be wrong about this. Hold on, let me look this up. Five Nights at Freddy's Rotten Tomatoes. I can't remember what the score of the first one was, but I think it was significantly better than that. Well, it wasn't great. It was 33%. It's 33%. But clearly less like it this time around. I wasn't a big fan of the first one, even though I was excited for it. But, you know, when a sequel like this comes out, I go in with optimism, Rob, that the filmmakers looked at the first, figured out what worked and what didn't work, build on the things that worked, try to improve or eliminate the things that didn't work. Doesn't sound like that's what happened here. Now, again, we got our movie meetup coming next Tuesday, and I'm looking forward to going in with a full theater of people and having just fun watching this thing, whether it's good or bad. But now look, Rob, obviously Five Nights at Freddy's was never designed to be Shakespeare, right? Nobody's asking for it to be a Best Picture contender. Nobody's asking for it to, you know, have huge artistic merit. Just make it fun, make it enjoyable. And it sounds like a lot of people aren't having fun or enjoying it. Anyway, are you surprised to hear about this? What did you think about the first one, and what are you taking away from these reviews?
You know, I didn't love the first Five Nights at Freddy's, and I never played the game. But there's great potential here. And I was actually, to be honest, I thought the trailers for this looked pretty good. You know, I thought it looked like a bigger film than the first one. It looked really interesting. It bums me out to hear this, to be honest. And I think that, you know, I'm not saying that everything needs to be Shakespeare, but you can take an approach to everything that you're aspiring to be as good as Shakespeare. Within the context of a Five Nights at Freddy movie, you can go one way or another. And I'm always of the opinion that you try and always deliver. You take a premise. Look, an audience doesn't become a fan of Five Nights at Freddy's because of its camp value. Like you said, it's the only video game you've ever played that scared you. If that's the case, lean into that. But it seems to me like the people, it happens a lot with our IPs, not just here. People don't take them seriously. They look at them and go, ugh, it's just Five Nights at Freddy's, so we don't have to approach it like The Exorcist. And I'm like, you kind of do. You're not making The Exorcist, but what you're trying to do is take your premise seriously enough that you can inject it and imbue it with real horror. That's what your audience wants. They want to feel that when you go into a horror film, whether it's got a goofy premise or not, you want it to fulfill the premise of what it is. And if it can't do that, then you failed. And I feel that this bummed me out because I was really looking forward to this, and I'm depressed. You've depressed me.
Again, listen, a lot more people than I did like the first one, so maybe I'll like this one. I don't know. We'll see. Guys, we want to take a second to thank a sponsor of today's video, BetterHelp. Hey guys, we are right now in the middle of the holiday season, and this is always the time of year when traditions take center stage. For me, one of the small traditions I've had for myself since I was a teenager is taking at least one night during the Christmas season to just spend completely by myself, to just reflect on the year that was and how I want to improve myself in the year that's coming. The holidays can be joyful, but they can also be stressful, overwhelming, even lonely. So if you're thinking about starting therapy or getting back into it, BetterHelp is a great way to begin. BetterHelp has fully licensed therapists who work under a strict code of conduct, and they do the matching work for you. The way it works is you fill out a short questionnaire. They use over 12 years of experience to match you with someone who fits your goals. And if it's not the right fit, you can switch anytime from their tailored recommendations. With over 30,000 therapists and more than 5 million people served, the platform's average live session rating is 4.9 out of 5 from more than 1.7 million reviews. So This December, start a brand new tradition by taking care of you. Our listeners get 10% off at betterhelp.com/Campea. That's betterhelp.com/Campea. Guys, question is for you. Have you been looking forward to Five Nights at Freddy's 2? We're doing our movie meetup in Burbank of it on Tuesday. I hope I enjoy it. Whatever you guys think, jump down to the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching this video. Make sure you like the video, leave a comment, and subscribe to our channel. And don't forget, we have a daily podcast called the John Campea Show podcast, available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or your favorite podcasting app of choice. Go and subscribe to it today so it'll be there when you need it.